Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. Hello, I'm Boom Gonzalez, and you can watch the game live and, of course, our past episodes on demand on the Pilipinas Live app for just 149 pesos a month, available for download on Google Play or the App Store.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Well, we had a thrilling Sunday showdown in round 2 of the UAAP Season 86 Men's Basketball Tournament as 4 teams faced each other at the Smart Ateneo Coliseum. Now, here to give us a lowdown on yesterday's action is basketball analyst Coach Olsen Racela. Coach Olsen, how are you?
Yes, good afternoon.
All right, so let's take a look at the standings before we begin anything because not a lot of movement considering what happened yesterday. Ateneo in particular not necessarily moving, still in that final 4 position. But what do you make of the standings so far and that race for the Final 4?
Well, that win of Adamson over FEU made that battle for the last spot pretty interesting. Because right now, I have UP, NU, and LaSalle going top 3.
Okay.
Unless...
In that order?
No, not in that order. Not in that order.
Kinaklaro ko nga para...
Standing sinignan ko eh. Kaya yun ang sinabi ko.
Okay.
Pero I got them top 3 na eh.
Okay.
So yung battle for the last spot is going to be interesting, especially because of that win of Adamson over FEU. So now Adamson and Ateneo are tied because of that loss of Ateneo over UP, and then FEU and UE are also tied with 3 and 6 records. So magandang labanan yan. Up to parang free for all na yan for number 4 between those 4 teams.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on how Adamson is doing so far, especially with that win? A lot of people were expecting dikit yung laban na yun because FEU had a little bit of momentum. FEU, they had some great wins. They're coming off that buzzer beater, great momentum. Pero bumitaw ang Adamson sa kanila. How did they do it, Coach?
Well, FEU first.
Okay.
FEU with that 2 wins over Ateneo. That was huge for them.
Yeah.
Well, not just for this season, but for their program.
Okay.
See a little bit of trivia
Please.
from Pong. Ang Ateneo, the past 6 years or 7 years, have not been swept in the elimination round.
By any team.
By
any team.
Okay.
Until last Wednesday.
Wow.
By
All right.
FEU.
Right.
So that win was huge for FEU, and I think that's going to help them down the line with their confidence. But they have to follow that up with wins over teams that they're supposed to beat.
Right.
Kaya hindi nakatulong sa kanila yung talo sa Adamson.
At hindi rin nakatulong sa kanila. Balikan lang natin, Coach, mabilis, yung UST,
Yes,
Yeah.
isa pa
Diba?
yun. The win of the only win of UST was
Correct.
against FEU. So kailangan they have to follow up those big wins with wins against teams that they're supposed to beat. Now with Adamson naman, they've been on a losing streak.
Yeah.
They except for that last game,
Right.
diba? But yung last game, I think their guards really stepped up against the much heralded guards of FEU. Guys stepped up for Coach Nash, like yung Kalisay played well for them. Yero. And I think si Coach Nash did a pretty good game plan of really slowing the game down by posting up their guards, attacking the guards of FEU. I think that slowed the game down, and that's the strength of FEU, an up-tempo kind of game. And that was to the advantage of Adamson.
Well, we can't move on without talking about Jerome Lastimosa, obviously, for Adamson. Will sit out the entire season, and a lot of people are worried for his health, rightly so. But then for those, well, you've seen these types of injuries before, Coach, and I guess with modern medicine right now, we're hoping to see him back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's ACL ngayon is just a simple procedure. It's not career threatening anymore like before. So it's just a simple setback. He'll be back stronger. But talking about Jerome, it's just nice to see that there's still people who value loyalty and utang na loob more than money and fame. You know, you just have to remember that he had an offer.
He had an option
before,
right.
an option not to play his final year, but he stayed. And I think that's why they retired this number
Right.
before the season. Before
Correct.
the season. I
Even
think
started,
no
right.
college team has ever done that for their player
Right.
ever before. So
And that's why he's well loved, not only by Adamson, but the UAP. They show him a lot of love. And we wish him well and come back stronger. And we have no doubt that he will be the Spitfire guard that we know him to be. Now, UP and Ateneo, round number 2. Your general thoughts on how this shakes up everything, coupled with the NU loss the other day, and UP winning yesterday and avenging their first round defeat. Does that install them as favorites, or are they the favorites anyway to begin with?
well, whenever I guest here in the game, I always say that UP is the favorite
Right.
this year.
Consistent. ka na.
Consistent.
No question. I mean, because of their lineup and that loss to Ateneo in the first round made things a little interesting. Diba? That's why heavily anticipated itong
Round two.
Round 2.
Right.
Diba? In fact, UAP had to move the game to a weekend instead of a weekday. Diba? For the fans. But that game was a purely defensive game. Nagrereklamo ko nga kanina, 11 all lang yung
Hindi ako nagre-reklamo. Si Coach Norman yung nagre-reklamo.
Imagine, nung first round meeting nila, the score was 99-89.
Right. Overtime.
Oh, last night's game, 65-60. So that's a
11-11
difference of
yung first
what,
quarter.
60 total points
Yeah.
difference. So it was really a defensive game. Coaches made their adjustments.
Right.
They learned from the first game,
round,
and it was a defensive game.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was Balungay and Kuhn who combined for 1 of 17 in the fourth
At
quarter
one point,
before
yes.
they started hitting their shots. But then we'll talk about the guys who did hit their shots. Si Abadiano, career high, 22 points against Ateneo. In a game where an offense was at a premium, he definitely stepped up for UP.
Yeah, you have to take note that Cancino and
Kagulangan.
Kagulangan
Yeah.
did not play.
Yeah.
Those two players actually averaged 21 points.
Magkasama.
Together. Oo. Si Abadiano scored 22 points. So pretty much covered yung kulang nung dalawa. But more than that, I think it was a career high game for Abadiano. Stepped up his scoring. Provided the scoring outside that they missed with the Cancino out.
Right.
And then he played that point at times in place of Kagulangan. So, maganda talaga yung linaro ni Abadiano for them.
Bumalik pa si Terence Fortea, nakatulong
Yeah.
ng konti. That's why sabi mo nga, malalim. It pays to be deep. You lose a Kagulangan and a Cancino, you have Fortea, Badiano, Torres even played point for them yesterday. Okay, on the side of Ateneo, they lost, but what are the positives that you can take away from that, other than Jared Brown looking like Coach Olsen, the takeover guard that they probably lost with a fourth ski and the Belangel type.
That's actually what they were expecting from Brown before the season.
Oh,
He was
okay.
playing so well during the preseason. But the thing is, last night's game, you mentioned it, Pao, Balungay and Kuhn combo.
Yeah.
They only scored 7 points.
Yeah.
And they averaged 24 points per game. Kuhn was in fact 0 of 10 for the whole game. So feeling ko kasi for Ateneo to really compete and go up there, these two guys have to step up. They're going to be my barometer if Ateneo wants to make it all the way this year.
Well, na-mention mo na, Coach, that UP is the prohibitive favorite according to you. But then what do we make of Ateneo so far? Because they go from really big highs, like beating UP in that first round, and to not really showing up when it matters. Like, for example, towards that end game against UP. What can we make of this season so far for Ateneo, and ano yung ceiling nila at this point?
The Jekyll and Hyde season.
Yeah, it's a season of inconsistencies. Kaya binanggit ko itong dalawa.
Right.
Those wins of Ateneo during this, they played well. Both of them played well.
Yeah.
So parang ganun for Ateneo to really play well and get up there and make the Final Four and eventually finals or championship, these two guys have to play well. Last night, imagine that, 24 on average, and 7 lang for the whole game. That did,
Sa dulo pa yun,
Yeah, sa dulo pa. Yeah.
and they were really bleeding for their points. Only
Bleeding.
60 points for the whole game.
Yeah. I agree. You know who's going to be happy? Jeff Napa, that he's not being talked about, even if he's the number 2 team. He's always happy that people don't talk about him. All right, Coach
We'll talk about him
Olsen.
soon.
Yes, don't go anywhere, because after the break, We've got more hoops with Coach Olsen as he talks about the latest with Barangay Ginebra. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. The PBA Commissioner's Cup is set to kick off this weekend, and Barangay Ginebra is readying the troops for a brand new season. And so with us to talk about the latest with the Gin Kings is assistant coach Olsen Racela. And we have to start. Oh, ayaw magpaano. We were trying to ask him to go, but he stayed.
Yeah.
No, kidding. Baliktad eh, no? Coach, we got to start with the biggest topic, which is, of course, the import for the Commissioner's Cup. Tony Bishop, familiar, not from your side, but familiar from the other side. Tell us about that acquisition.
We're very familiar with Tony Bishop that we decided to get
on the other side of that.
Yes, for this conference. But he's gonna take the place of Justin Brownlee in the meantime. And we like Tony Bishop because like I said, nakalaban na namin siya eh. So very familiar with him. He made things difficult for us during that finals, Governor's Cup finals last year. And he's not ball dominant. Yun ang gusto namin. Kasi we're a team that prides herself with ball movement, player movement, the number of assists every game.
Right.
So Tony Bishop is not ball dominant.
So perfect
in
siya
fact,
sa
in fact, laging binabanggit ng dad mo yan that si Tony Bishop daw moves well without the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes imports, pag dininay mo na, inano mo na, nakatayo na lang na ganyan. So si Tony Bishop is not like that.
Yeah.
He seals, goes for the rebounds, very active. So
Well, a lot of people will always compare him to Justin Brownlee because he's replacing Justin Brownlee. But then what can Barangay Ginebra fans expect from a Tony Bishop that's getting used to this Ginebra team? If I'm not mistaken, first practice niya today with the team.
Okay.
Yeah,
Give us,
first practice na today.
give us the inside stuff.
What fans will expect? Well, they have first to realize that he's not Justin Brownlee. Kami rin eh.
Yeah.
Diba? So we have to help him out in practice, get acquainted to our system, how we run things. But see, Tony Bishop actually plays the same position. So a little adjustment in that aspect because he'll play the same position as Justin. He's a good defender in his position, can defend imports as well. So, and really reliable outside threat. With Japet and Christian there, we need really an import who can play the perimeter and spread the floor for everyone.
Just to recap the numbers: 26 points per game, more than 13 rebounds, more than 3 assists, and 45% shooting in his last stint with Meralco. So if you base it on that, you've got a steady contribution already. Now, of course, now it's going to be a different system, which you think he will excel in. So we're excited for that. But we're also excited with the other things. What other developments, especially the locals, Coach Olsen, here with Scotty and everybody else.
Yeah, like you mentioned, today was our first
practice.
practice together. Although we were already practicing before Gilas left for China. Yung mga 10 lang yan, 9 or 10 lang kami nagpa-practice. But now we have a complete lineup. First
Everybody
time.
back.
LA is back.
LA is back, yeah.
Oo, just an update. So si LA, nagpo 5-on-5 na siya eh. Playing for us, pero hindi pa not full practice.
Yeah.
So slowly, he's getting there. LA is a big help, especially during the crunch time, di ba? And then Mav and Missy,
Of course,
is slowly adjusting to the way we're doing things at practice.
Yeah.
And then, sino pa ba? Yeah, Jamie. Jamie is always gonna be Jamie. Kailangan medyo rendahan mo kasi super active siya palagi sa
Does
sa
he look
practice.
healthy now? I remember at the end of FIBA Basketball World Cup, he had to sit out the last game due to an injury. How is he looking physically?
Well, he had the long time off, so
Pinagalitan niya ni Coach Olsen on national TV. Bakit nasa fan stream si Jamie Malonzo ng UAAP? Wala siya sa practice namin.
yeah, so okay na si Jamie. Okay na si Jamie. So everyone's excited. In fact, even si Coach Tim, it was Coach Tim's first day at practice today. So everyone's just excited. I hope the fans are excited as well.
Especially after, obviously, the Gilas representation, a chunk of the team was there. Kaya kahit sabihin mo hindi nagpa-practice, naglalaro naman ng competitive. Which brings me to the question, Coach Ols, how does that help? The competitive nature that the guys went through in China, and then, but of course there's a long break, but coming into the PBA season.
It's always a big help, especially when you come from a competitive situation or
High
experience.
level, no?
Grabe yun eh. Sa World Cup and then the Asian Games and then pagbalik mo sa PBA, parang pagkalaban mo doon, parang lahat imports eh. So pagbalik mo dito, parang you're playing at a very high confidence. And I'm sure it's gonna rub off sa mga ibang players.
So the PBA season opens on November 5. November 17 is your first game. That will be against Converge. If I'm not mistaken, magte-training camp pa kayo. Just how much, is that enough time for Barangay Ginebra to be completely ready? If I'm not mistaken, you're gonna have a training camp in Inspire starting tomorrow, I believe.
No, starting Monday.
Starting Monday, I believe. So when you have all of that, waiting till the November 17, is it enough time or is it a bit too cramped for you guys?
Well, we're hoping that will be enough because all the other teams have been practicing for so long already.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to Inspire to have like thrice a day practices. So, para mabawi namin yung nawala. So hopefully we'll be ready by November 7th.
Speaking of being ready, LA told me, and pwede ko raw sabihin, December is the safe target.
There it is.
December is the safe target.
December
Yun ang
is target.
inahabol niya.
So
Personal
let's
goal.
see. It's a great Christmas gift to all the Barangay Ginebra fans and all the PBA fans out there as well. Coach Olsen, maraming salamat. Really appreciate you
Pwede
coming
na,
here.
Coach.
You can stay, I guess. Diba? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Olsen Racela.
Thank you.
Now, more sports stories after the break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're watching The Game. It's another thrilling NBA game day with nail-biters and explosive performances. Out in the West, the Sacramento Kings outlasted the Los Angeles Lakers in an overtime thriller 132-127. De'Aaron Fox owned the offense with a 37-point performance while dishing out 8 assists. Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors won over the Houston Rockets 106-95. The Splash Brothers, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, led the scoring department with 24 and 19 points apiece, respectively. Meanwhile, over in the East, the Atlanta Hawks dominated the Milwaukee Bucks with a commanding 17-point lead, having 8 players in double digits, giving the Hawks a 127-110 win. Hawk star Trae Young was on fire, coming close to a double-double with 20 points and 11 assists, with the team holding Damian Lillard to just 6 points after his 39-point outburst last Friday.
And shifting gears to volleyball now, the PVL excitement continues tomorrow, October 31 at the Phil Oil Eco Oil Arena in San Juan. We've got a thrilling triple header lined up for the day, beginning with Cherry Tigo taking on the Jerflor Defenders at 2 p.m. After that, the Farm Fresh Foxies will face off against the Creamline Cool Smashers at 4 p.m. And the action wraps up with a showdown between the Signal HD Spikers and the Akari Chargers. Don't forget, you can catch and watch the PVL games live on One Sports and the Pilipinas Live app. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Paolo Del Rosario. This has been The Game.